Yep, we have another one here. Go ahead.
Uh-huh. Thank you. Um, Actually, my question is about the adventure, and because you always refer to the adventure and the real adventure of life, just wanted to clarify. I mean, you please clarify that whether this adventure really only belongs to the creation, or there is any adventure in the real universes also, and generally. What would be the type of life in the real universes? I mean, the concept of adventure there.
Well, I look at adventure, the adventure aspect. There's the reality aspect. Okay, and we use again the sun as an example. I have to use something here we can relate to realistically from this human view, this our personal view here, and that is you. The sun is a reality all its own. It exemplifies the isness life is. It simply exemplifies it. It represents it. And many things represent it. The natural environment represents it. It just is what it is. Okay? But the adventure of life, that's the fun part. That's where we add the thrill, the happiness, the enthusiasm. See, we create that ourselves. That's like spices on our food. And that's one way to look at it. That's not the end result. There's 1,000 different ways to look at it, and it's just like cooking a good meal. You do it, or you prepare a good meal. If it's a salad, or you make soup, or whatever it is, you cook, you prepare, whatever it is. And you make it taste good also for the senses, because you do have 5 bodies, and especially the emotional body. We're very in tune to that. So again, that becomes the spice of life, like the love aspect that we have, and it's like the relationships that we have. If it's marriage, having children, having the sex, the sensation, the thrills, all these things that occupy ourselves here. But it is not the end result. That's just part of it. But the adventure aspect is that, and in the real universes, it even gets better. But it's not defined in the same way, you see, because it's a recognition. And so there is, but there isn't. There is its own definition, but it's like it has its own language. Just like what we use to define what we're experiencing here in the physical realm, it has its own language, and this is where the individual starts to recognize this themselves. And so you really can't define it, but yeah, the adventure part is the attitude that you decide. It's like looking at the sun. You can just like look at the sun and go, oh gee, there's the sun. And that's it. It's just an isness. You can see it like that, and I do too. And then you can look at the sun. You can go, oh, I love the sun. The sun is warm. It's wonderful. It's all these things. See, now you're adding your spices, and you're deciding your adventure. It's like, oh, I'm going to go out and play today, and I'm going to go do this. And see, now you decide your adventure with it. Life already is, so you decide your adventure. And the same with the real universes, and how you decide your life to be. For most people, they want to make a comfortable position here. They want to be happy. They chase happiness. They chase collecting things. And today, with how society has been set up, it's the monetary system. So people chase money. Okay, and all this is fine, but it only exists here. And it doesn't matter what you have or who you are or what have you, how popular you are or liked or disliked or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You'll just grow old is what you'll do if you do not recognize the real universes. You'll just simply grow old again, and you'll forget. And so, yes, go ahead and make the earth a happy place. Go ahead and think that love will, the spice of life, you might say the spice of this life, not the whole of life, okay? Because what we're experiencing here in creation has nothing to do with the whole of life. It's a reflection. It's a simulator is what it is. It's like the image in the mirror that you see. That's not really you, but it's a reflection. And so the love that we have here is a reflection. It's not the real love. And so when people think that, oh, love will cure everything, I'll just love everything, well, in a way, they're just really fooling themselves. Because again, that's like a belief, saying, well, I believe in God and God will take care of everything. Nobody lives your life. You've always decided all of it. And so the adventure is your choice every single moment. And this is where you learn to live the nowness life is. And this is what I've brought forward, the new nowness, and that's what the is, and to recognize it. So it's more than just being now, as Eckhart Tolle says, which, respectfully, that's fine, and thinking that things are spiritual and godlike or whatever. Well, he's talking about creation, cause and effect, reincarnation, and karma, and if you're into that, hey, have fun with it. There's a bigger picture, much bigger picture, and a much bigger adventure that is unseen. And for those that share the new you, only they will see it. Only the real risk takers will see it. You have to be a real risk taker. There's no on the fence thing. There's no halfway to where your personal life is more important. You will still have your personal life. But just like a mother and a child, the child becomes number one, where you forget yourself and the whole of life becomes bigger. So you decide the adventure. That's where you add to the isness itself. And then you learn to recognize the reality life is. But the spices that you add to life here, like looking at the sun and being happy with it, or chasing happiness. Happiness is a decision. It is not the ultimate in life. Again, it's a degree in the circle of degrees, is what it is. That's one way to say it. But it is not the whole picture. The gods of man are not the whole picture. They're part of it, kind of like in the movies. And as an example, Superman and Batman. Superman has Lex Luthor and Batman has the Joker. Well, the Joker and Lex Luthor are like the gods of man. They're funny characters. They're part of it. It gives us an objective view. They're necessary, but they are not the ultimate, you see. There's just a whole lot more to that. But you decide your adventure, and as you do, and as you sing the new you, and as you pay attention to the real guidance, you'll be shown, and all of a sudden you start to recognize, you start to become more aware in the true sense, not just in the literal sense. Okay, the world is waking up literally, but not in the true sense. There's a bigger awakening, but you got to have the courage to see it and do it. And so those that know about the new you and do not present it, well, you're just holding yourself back, because again, everything equals itself. Life can only support you when you support the reality life is. So if you want to be a goody-goody person, okay, and just love everything, go right ahead. That's the emotional love with the astral body. Sounds good. So yes, the gods of man, the reptilians, and the tapliners will support you if that's where you want to be only. And yes, we do use that aspect, but that's just part of it, okay? Just like the parts in an engine, you have the motor and the pistons and the radiator and the alternator and all the little goodies that make up the car. But, those are just the little parts of it. That's not the whole thing. One piston is not going to run the car. But some people think that love is going to cure everything. Well, real love does. But that's recognizing the all is and having the courage to present the new you. That becomes the difference, because this is the nowness life is. What took place in the past was in the past. When Jesus and Buddha as examples, and Gandhi was here, or whatever, Abraham Lincoln, those things are fine in history as references, but they're not now. Now is the isness life is. This is what I'm presenting now. This is real now, the new you. And for those that have the courage to do it, life will support you, and you will be able to recognize the true reality more so than creation itself. Yes. So you decide your adventure, young man. You are the decider. You want salt and pepper on your meal? fine. If you want turmeric or, whatever it is, you decide that. You see? That's something you decide. Life does not decide that for you. Yes. And yes, the bigger adventure is awaiting. You have seen nothing yet. It only gets better.
Can you say something about when you leave the physical body and the real guides guiding you out?
Yes. Yes, and the real guidance, it's always there. The real guides are with those that, stand realistically with them, of course, and not to be taken for granted. But the individual has to earn their way, just like anything. It can be like you can be on the football team and you're going to be sitting on the bench for quite a while, even though you're on the team. Doesn't mean that you're going to be on the playing field, you see. So there is a difference. You have to earn your way. You have to prove yourself. And yes, the guidance is there, but you always make the decision, what you want with your life. They can only guide you accordingly. So you must learn to make the choices that correspond to the reality life is, you see. And this is what most people do not get. They just figure that, they'll just, make a choice. Again, the love idea, I see it so much, just thinking, I'll just love everything. And they just feel that, okay, that will take care of everything. And yeah, they'll be guided to some nice little la-la land place. But it'll just be someplace probably in the astral realm in creation. And that's about as far as they'll go. And eventually they'll get bored there. And they'll have relationships and still tap lines and karma and attachments and ideas and longings, and they'll come back to the physical. It's just how it is. So this is a huge journey, but the guidance is always there. There's always something basically for everybody, even those people that worship the demons, that are the evil controllers of the world. They have guidance too. The demons will guide them straight into hell, into their purgatories or wherever. So everybody has guidance, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you must watch your P's and Q's. So you decide where you're going, but at the same time, you want to be realistic. And just like going to school, you earn your way. You have to do your homework. You have to earn your way. And many people, for the most part, most people want to step up, and they do want to earn their way. And it's fun. Yes, it really is. So everything equals itself. So if you want to, play the raunchiest heavy metal music in the world, that corresponds accordingly. You may be popular here, but you're really popular with the demons in the lower astral realm. So that's basically where you're going. Yeah, it's not too good. So if you want to do that, because life is vibration also here. So it becomes very, very interesting, even though in your mind you may think that you're really cool. Well, there's a bigger picture to all of it. So, and I can't say, I'm not saying that that's going to be it exactly, but there's a difference between symphonic music that's of a high nature, like something that Wagner produced, and what a lot of these people are producing today, as an example. And if you live that life, then basically that's where you are. Within yourself, within your consciousness, you create that yourself. So, and it's like the food you eat. It's like the old saying, you are what you eat. Things correspond accordingly in creation. What we're looking at here is the real awareness of the individual to recognize that it's not really an awakening. It is in its own way. It's wake up to what already is, to recognize what already is. This is what's so cool about the isness. And once you grasp this, it's just a lot more fun. So, okay.
Well, I really appreciate all of this. Before I read your books, before I knew anything about you or what you've done, I actually came across the you part of the new you. So when I was going through my experimentation, coming up out of where I was at that time, religion, going through, coming up and out of all of that, I discovered certain things, and the you part of the new you is what I discovered for myself. It, I don't want to get into the details of it, but basically, I was in my living room, and certain tones I was thinking about stuff that I had been studying, and a little voice in my head, basically, it would it would hang up on certain syllables, and the U is where it stuck one time, and I tried it, and then eventually, make this long story short, I came across Paul Twitchell's books, and then came across your books, and then I sent you an email, and I started taking the new student course, and now here we are. So it's complete for me. And I have had the experiences on the real side with the new you. I'm not just talking, just any ordinary real side experience, but I mean actually with the sound itself, seeing it. There was one experience in particular. It was you probably remember it, Duane. It was the experience where you and I were leading our own groups. I had a group of people, you had a group of people, and we basically raided this castle. You went one way, I went the other, and then we met at the bottom. So there was all sorts of battles and tricks and traps rather to go throughout this whole experience. And then once I made it through with my group, we made it through to the objective, if you will, which was in the basement of this huge castle. There was no light. The only light that was there was the new. It was there, the symbol that we have now, which is what we use. So, yeah, I appreciate this demonstration, this presentation, and I'll look forward to share it all around.
Yes, you're wonderful, Chris. And yeah, experiences like that are fun, and that's like the kingdom of creation, because the Kalam God basically rules. He fought his way to be the king of creation, and so that's what the old idea, King of Kings, comes from. Because again, it's the king idea, and these are rulers, is what they are, not what people think they are. And the whole idea there is that we were going through the various levels in creation, gathering people, and then you might say bringing them into an arena in the physical sense, or the basement, whatever, to start them on their journey. Because you have to, in creation, even though there appears to be an up or down, there really isn't. You simply gather individuals that are willing to wake up, and then you start them at a point which is the physical here. This is the basis of all the 5 bodies, and where the real awareness is working from to recognize the all is, and then you start from here. So that's the whole idea. And then you work from there, and then you supersede all of this is what you do. It's kind of like the escape route that's taking place. So yes, we go through a lot of, we go through the maze of creation to collect experiences for ourselves and share this with others, so that eventually we have something to refer to. That's why we're in creation, to eventually recognize the real universes and start our real journey. Yes, this is just the simulated journey that we're on. So that's part of it too. And so yes, you're very fortunate, Chris. You're very, very aware. Most people can't make heads or tails of their real side experiences, which are understandable. I go through a lot myself. I can't figure all them out. I'm not going to try. It's just like what's going on in the world. I'm not going to try and figure it all out. That's not the idea. I get the basic idea, and if I need to know something, I ask somebody that does know. But I'm focused on presenting this to the world because this is my adventure. This is what I've decided. I love it. It's a love affair with me, and love to see all of you show up and become more aware. Now we're being to being. We see each other as who we really are, and this is what life is all about. And to experience in the true reality life is, And for the most part, most people don't know who their gods are. They don't know where their heaven is. They don't know who their gods are. It's all about faith and belief, which there's no such thing. It's all superstition. Well, people have done that for untold lifetimes, and they're still doing it. And it's no different than their previous lifetimes, but this is very real, and it really does work very, very well, and it's a lot of fun too. That's why we're wonderful worldwide educators. Yes, thank you, Chris. Thank everybody. Yes, I love this. I love to see all of you. Thank you so much.